afraid of the dark? Are you scared?
Hello and welcome to the Surrey Supernatural YouTube channel. My name is Graham and I run the Surrey Supernatural Facebook group. Today is the story of the Uber driver who went on a murder rampage, but there is a paranormal twist. Jason Dalton seemed like a normal family man with a wife and children. Jason was working as an Uber driver to get some extra money for a holiday when one day he seemed to change. On this one day, Jason had been out with a friend visiting gun stores, which apparently he used to do a lot and which wasn't out of the ordinary. Jason left his friend and went to work for Uber and signed on to say he was free. The first fare he picked up was a male and everything seemed normal. They started to drive off when Jason received a phone call. Jason answered this call, which apparently was from his son, but when Jason hung up, things dramatically changed. Jason started to drive erratically, swerving in and out of lanes and speeding up and down residential roads. The passenger shouted at Jason to stop, saying he had passed the house where he wanted to be dropped off. Finally, Jason screeched to a stop outside the house, where the passenger rolled out of the car. After this, Jason returned home where he grabbed a drink and went to his basement to pick up his bulletproof vest and his Glock gun, and the spare magazines for the gun. Meanwhile, the passenger had contacted police and reported Jason's driving, so the police were on the lookout for his car. However, Jason didn't know this, but decided to change car due to the damage he received while driving erratically earlier. Jason returned back out onto the road where he received another fare. A young girl wanted picking up some apartments, but when Jason got there he could not find his fare and called her, but he could still not find out where she was. Jason saw another young woman with some kids. He pulled up to them, asked if she was the fare, to which she replied no. Jason then pulled away and sharply turned around, shooting at the mum and kids. However, none of the kids were hurt. The mum, in an act of bravery, had jumped in front of the kids and took the bullets, but she survived. Neighbours of this young woman called the police after hearing the gunshots, and when the police received the call, they put it together that it was related to the call from Jason's previous fare, and that in fact he had changed cars. Jason carried on as if nothing was wrong and carried picking up his Uber fares, chatting to them and singing along to the radio. Jason drove to a road where there was a row of car dealerships, where a young lad and his dad were looking at cars. Jason pulls into the dealerships and parks his car in front of the offices. He gets out of his car and walks up to the young man and his dad. Dalton speaks to the two gentlemen, but before they could reply, Jason had pulled out his gun and shot them both. This was being witnessed by the young man's fiancée, who had got out of the car to see if they were okay and to contact the emergency services. By now, the police were looking for Jason and were stopping all cars that were the same make, model and colour of the one he was now driving. Next, Jason drove to a place called the Cracker Barrel. There, he spoke to a group of female friends, all sitting in two cars. These were the next ones to suffer, as Jason opened fire and killed all but one person in the car. The next survivor was a young girl who was found by the police hiding at the bottom of the car, but this young girl had been shot in the head, but has now made a full recovery. Police finally caught up with Jason around midnight after pulling around 8 cars the same. Jason was arrested by police and taken into custody, where he was questioned. Police were confused, for when I asked him questions, he seemed a normal, happy person, and did not seem the person they were after. However, when they quizzed Jason about the murders, he would answer with, "I plead the fifth." This basically means no comment. Later, during questioning, Jason surprised the officers when he told them he'd been possessed by the Uber app. Jason said that he'd used his phone when a devil's head or a horned head appeared on the screen as Jason was answering a call or something he had pressed on the phone, and from that point he'd been completely taken over by the app. Jason told the police all about the shootings in graphic detail, as if he had witnessed the whole thing and not been in fact the one shooting them. Jason was sent for psychiatric tests to see if he had any mental issues before his trial, and they came to a decision that there was in fact nothing wrong with him. The trial date was set, and before a jury was called, Jason Dalton pleaded guilty and is now serving life in prison without the chance of parole. Do you think he was really possessed by this app, and do you think it is possible? If so, why not comment below? I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, don't forget to comment, like and subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Take care and I'll see you soon. Bye paranormal peeps.